I would have been here sooner, but I had to stop and read all the, the comments in the chat. I leave you guys alone by yourselves for just a few minutes. And what do you start doing? Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. I haven't put everything back the way it should be. I'll do that in a minute. Oh my goodness. Y'all have been drinking? That's part of it. You're acting like, oh yeah, see, I need to do my hair. You're acting like this is Friday. I think my camera's off. Let's check here. Yeah, hold on a second. Oh my goodness. Let's see if that did anything. That's better. That's still not it. Actually, that's not bad. We'll go with that one. And I'll just move my chair. All right. Is there a bar? Does it serve real ale? If NDI were a beer, it would be low latency refreshing and available from any nearby network point. Oh, Giles, I love it. I love it. That's great. Tommy. Oh, my goodness. You guys obviously have misspent youths. That's all I can say. All right, let's see. Jerry's here, Jill's here, Rich is here. Jeff, we knew about. Jens is here. Timothy, welcome, Timothy. Hadn't seen you in a while. Andrew, Bill, of course, Mike and Dave, Giles and Rich, the other Rich, and Rudy. Oh, all right, glad you guys are here. Glad you guys are here. Going to be interesting today. Still putting together the show notes. And little R Rich, thank you for your help earlier. We are actually streaming the pre-show here to Facebook just as kind of a play test. You can go to our Facebook page if you want to and take a look. I'll put the URL in the chat here if I can find it. Yeah, there we go. So, do that here. And, yeah, Timothy, you know, you leave for a little while and you come back and the crazies have taken over. No, it's a good group. It's a good group. It's a good attitude. It's a happy, good, classy group. That's the good way to do it. Okay. Let's see, what do we got going here? So, let's put our, hang on one second. Let's see if this is the right spot. Close. That's close enough. I put that up there because I want to see what the delay is on the Facebook. So 16 looks like about 9 seconds. 9 seconds on Facebook and about 11 seconds on YouTube. And I'm not sure. We might let this stream go all the way through the show. I'm not sure. We've got 90 minutes. And I'm still not verified. I was running into that problem last week, never fixed it, put it aside and promptly forgot about it. And then got back to it this morning now that vMix is Facebook compatible. That's going to be the drinking word for today, is, I'll warn you right now, is compatible. Now that vMix is Facebook compatible, Facebook Live compatible, You have to be verified by Facebook in order to use the built-in vMix. But if you aren't verified by Facebook, you can get around that by using the publishing tools on your Facebook page. And I'll show you how to do that. Jeff says 10 seconds between chat wing and video chat update. Probably so, yes. Yes. Okay, Giles says that Facebook and YouTube are about the same. All right, that's interesting. Okay. That means either Facebook is slowed down just a tad or YouTube is speeded up just a tad. Michael, welcome. Glad to have you here for the pre-show. And be interesting to see how the Facebook thing, you know, I'm still not convinced on Facebook. I'm thinking that it depends on it depends on your audience. If you've got a huge Facebook audience, then or Facebook following, then it might really work well for you. I don't know. Uh-oh. I hate to do that if that was one of you guys, but I should have turned off the volume to that ringer earlier. Yep. Okay. Missed call. My bad. And my apologies. If you're trying to call, don't call right now. But I will call you back, I promise. All right, let's see. Tommy's got Facebook. Good. Good deal. Glad it worked for you. Michael's got the same 9 to 10 second everybody else has got. Jeff was just posting a hello so he could time himself. All right. All right. Well, this is interesting. It's, you know, like anything new, it's, you know, you throw it out of the box. You say, is this going to work? Is this going to work, number one? Is it going to be workable, number two? And number three, is it going to really fit in and work for me? Because I've got lots of tools in the garage that I thought were really great tools, and I don't ever use them. Or I use them so very rarely that I'm thinking, should I keep it because I might use it again? Or should I loan it to a neighbor and then go borrow it when I need it? All right, Rich is pinging Facebook and pinging YouTube. And Jeff was trying to answer the phone. Obviously, he thought the drinking word was NDI today. Gotcha. And Jerry says he's got 12 seconds on Facebook. Okay, well, that's interesting. Sooner or later, you guys are going to have too many video windows open at the same time, and things are going to start buffering. Charles is here. Welcome, Charles. Glad to have you, my friend. Who else has shown up when we weren't watching? I guess that's it. Mike, Dave, Jeff, Michael, Giles, Rich. Oh, and the list reshuffled itself. I don't know if it does that for you guys, but it reshuffles itself. Jeff says he doesn't drink anymore. When was the last time I had a drink? Wow, I can't remember. I don't have a problem with it. Anything in moderation, like this stuff. Jerry's got different computers for each feed. Aha, but does he have different internet for each feed? Because you only have so much internet to go around. Henri is here. Welcome. Glad to have you. All right, so we've got a few minutes. And currently what we're doing is we're live streaming to you on our EasternShoreBroadcasting.com page via YouTube live. About a 10-second latency. We're live streaming, and that's coming off the Asus ROG laptop, which is NDI from the main production PC. And then the production PC is live streaming to Facebook Live directly, just to Facebook. So the only thing it's embedded in is Facebook at this point. I don't even know if you can embed it in something. I guess you probably can hack it and embed it. So we've got 2 streams going out. From what I understand, the Facebook stream is pretty well 720, and that's what you get. Or are you guys having an experience where you can adjust the resolution of the Facebook stream like you can with the YouTube stream? I'd be interested to hear that. I'd also be interested if there is a quality difference in the audio, or yeah, I guess difference is the better way to put it. Is there a difference in the audio, Facebook as opposed to YouTube? Or are they doing the audio about the same? I think I'm streaming the audio about the same. Let's check here. Yeah, we've got 96K AAC to Facebook, and and 96K AAC to YouTube. All right. And Tommy and Rich want to get everybody hooked together. That can be fun. Today we are going to talk ever so briefly, well, maybe not ever so briefly. We're going to talk about Facebook Live, and we're going to talk about how you do it, and we'll start out really talking about the vMix 17, the 88 version of that. And then we're also going to talk about NDI compatibility. That's almost like compatible. And then we're going to talk about the upcoming show. That if you got your calendar and you want to make a note, Rudy Ellis from Switchboard, the old Restream folks, is coming on the show June 22nd. Rudy Ellis with Switchboard. And then Stephen Haywood with the Tech Buzz will be here on the 29th. If you don't know Stephen, you probably want to just Google the Tech Buzz, and you'll bump into all his stuff, or you can go to the techbuzz.net, and you can, he's got a really cool show on Tuesdays called Broadcast Now. The drinking word is compatible. Compatible. So I was drinking on NDI compatibility. So that was a not quite right. Pink lemonade, in case anybody's wondering. Anyway, so Tuesdays is Broadcast Now by Stephen Haywood with the Tech Buzz. I think it's 5 o'clock Eastern, something like that. And he does a really, really good job with his show. Has some good guests and a good co-host. John is here. Welcome, John. Guest 180 is here. Welcome, 180. I like the 180 thing. I get that, turn 180. It's a complete turnaround. All right. And, oh yeah, I got to do a confession. Confession. Confession is good for the soul. 1, 2, 3, 4. Timothy says, if NDI was the word, I would need to go to the liquor store. So Timothy's been living in an NDI world. Got it. Got it. Chris is here. Welcome, Chris. Who else is showing up? Jim Jacobs. Welcome, Jim. Now, Michael, play nice. I don't know what the darts thing is, but y'all play nice. Okay. Couple 4 or 5 minutes here left. I think Jim says, let everybody know that NDI cam is not working with the 88. Okay, what is NDI cam? I didn't even know about NDI cam. Do you know about NDI leash? NDI leash. There it is. Okay. So Jim says that NDI cam is not working with 88. We'll have to figure out what, why, and where. And we'll see. Okay. Oh, yeah. Do you guys know what this is? Rod, do you know what this is? These were so hard to find. Let's put it in here, number 3.5. StarTech Thunderbolt 3 adapter. Got it. Never dig indoors. That's a good one. I like that. iPad app that lets you bring iPad browser into vMix. Oh, this is from the Sienna folks, I bet, huh? I think Jim is talking about that. Okay. John knows. Oh, so no, he didn't know. But Rich is right. It's the Thunderbolt adapter. These just came out. They had been promised in March, and then April, and then May, and then I read some people said July, but this one came in June, and it is plastic Thunderbolt 3 and Thunderbolt 2 on the other end. So if you got a Asus ROG laptop that's like a 752 or better, it probably had a Thunderbolt 3 on it. So you can get one of these free. I saw what Rich was doing. You can get one of these free when you buy one of our Bolt 4s, which is a Thunderbolt 1 device. So it'll work with your Thunderbolt 3 laptop. So that would be also for the, I think Dell's got a Thunderbolt 3 out, and MSI's got a Thunderbolt 3 out, and I think Sager's got a Thunderbolt 3 out. So if you've got Thunderbolt 3, you can get these from B&H, you can get them from Amazon, or if you buy the Bolt 4 and you have Thunderbolt 3, let me know. It comes with it. So that'd be the story there. And sorry, Rich, it's not a free gift, but it's cool. Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt. Can't beat that. Don't know why it took so long. I actually saw one of these at NAB. They had it at the AJA booth, and they said it was a, they said, shh, we're not supposed to have it, which I think means that Intel had not signed off on it yet, which is probably the problem. It probably wasn't a production problem. It was probably a legal problem. Is there a list somewhere that lists laptops with the Thunderbolt ports? Rich, what I've been doing, and I see we're just about out of time. What I've been doing is when I'm looking for one, either to recommend or when I bought this one, I mean, just go through the specs. You know, sometimes it's a little tough to tell if it's Thunderbolt 3. Sometimes it doesn't identify it as the Thunderbolt number. And in that case, then you have to get a picture of the side of the laptop and look at it really closely to see if it's a, you know, Thunderbolt 1. And see, that can be confusing because some folks, I know one of my clients in North Carolina bought an Asus laptop, looked at the side of it. It's got what appears to be a Thunderbolt 1 or 2 port on it, but really it was a mini display port, which is the exact same size. And it had a Thunderbolt 3 port on the other side, and we couldn't figure out why the Thunderbolt 1 port wasn't working. Well, it wasn't a Thunderbolt 1 port. So anyway. All right, well, let's get this show on the road. We are going to drop the stream to the pre-show. So if you were watching pre-show, that's gone. And we're going to end that live video. And we probably should have ended it before we cut the stream. And so we will go to that page. And we will take that recording. I guess we could leave that recording on the page, couldn't we? You want to leave it there? Let's leave it there, but let's stop it from working. It's still running. Oh, there it is. It just ended. So let's, we'll leave it there. It's not live anymore. It auto-plays, which I don't really like. Okay, let's go back to this page, and we'll go ahead and, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just end up showing you guys what I'm doing. So let me go ahead and put a screen cap of that in there now. Do we do a web browser of it? No, we need to do a screen cap. Desktop capture. So that's going to be Google Chrome. It's going to be Google Chrome 1 or 2. I think it's 1. It is 1. Okay, so that's the page right there that we'll need for later. And there we go. Oh, Andrew has posted a link to something. Thunderbolt Technology products. That looks like a good link. Let's take a quick look at that right here before we start. Andrew, you're the man. Before we start, and this is what it looks like. So it is showing the different, there's the Asus ROG G752, G752, 752, here's the 700, ZenBooks, Clevos, oh, there you go. So if you're looking for a laptop, that's a great link, Andrew. Great link, thank you very much. And they have the StarTech adapter. I think they were showing it just a second ago. All right. So that's a good little page to have. Let's go ahead and bookmark that page, shall we? Bookmark this page, yes. Thank you, Andrew. Great idea. Great idea. All right, so let's go back there. We'll go back here. And oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. All right, here we go. And Edward's here. Welcome, Edward. Good work. Good work. All right, let's see. Who else has slipped in when we weren't looking? Kent. Kent. There he is. Hey, Kent. And that's it. All right. All right, so y'all behave now. If you have to get me during this show on chat, you're gonna have to yell, because I'm not gonna watch you. If I catch you out of the corner of my eye, it's gonna distract me and I'll be lost, which is nothing new. Okay, so let's get the show on the road. We got to do one thing here. We'll go to this shot so you can see it. I got to get rid of that desk over there. So let's take a second and get rid of the desk. As you can tell, this is a green cloth. And I love that. Isn't that cool? I just continue to be intrigued by that whole process. Make things disappear. Okay, now we've got a little light back here that we will use. Should help with this process. Here we go. And I don't mind having the laptop here because that's a part of the, kind of a part of the show. All right. Yeah, that invisibility cloak was pretty cool. Unfortunately, it only works if you're in front of a green screen. So you'd have to carry a green screen around with you the whole time. It would lose a lot of the effect. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we got a little bit of, where is that shadow coming from? Right there. Can we do something with that? That help? Still didn't help. It's going to be right. There? Is that better? No, that's worse. Well, we may just have to live with a little bit of artifact over there. It is right there. Okay. Oh well, oh well, oh well. So we got that shot is ready to go. So we're going to fade to black. And getting look spiffy. And mute the mic. Hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, your head idiot for the day, and welcome to Streaming Idiots. Another in the short run of shows about streaming, about live streaming. If you're here, it's because either you clicked on the wrong link or you have come to find out about live streaming, and I'm happy to share what I know with you, which, I was talking to somebody this morning, and I said, In this little sliver of live streaming, I'm kind of in the shallow end of the pool and practically over my head even there. But I do know a little bit, and I'm happy to share my, excuse me, yes, my ignorance with you. Couple interesting subjects today. We're gonna tap on the update to vMix. vMix 17 has come out with the 88 update, the .88, and that includes the automatic streaming to Facebook Live. That's going to be pretty cool. I have a confession to make, and so we'll get to that in just a minute. And then I have the announcement of a rant. How about that? I've never heard anybody say that before, so it's new with me. Announcement of a rant, and then we're going to talk about a new product that's out by StarTech, and then we'll follow up with a look at upcoming shows. So hopefully we'll have all of that as our agenda today, and we can kind of get it all in the allotted time, which of course there is no allotted time. It's the internet. We can do whatever we want to. But hey, this is being a brief overview. Today, the live portion is being broadcast live to our website, but through a embed from YouTube. So if you're watching live, there's about a 10-second latency between the time I say it and the time you hear it. So if you're in the chat room and you know, you're hearing something and I'm not responding, it's because I've already gone by that subject. No, I'm just teasing. Love to have folks here live. We've got a great group in there today. Well, most of them are great. There are a couple of little troublemakers in there. If you're watching us on YouTube, not YouTube Live, but the YouTube recorded version, thanks for tuning in. We hope you'll subscribe at some point in the future, and maybe even join us for a live show, because the live shows are a ton of fun. And then, of course, after the live show, in the post-show, we have refreshments. So people always want to hang around for the refreshments. And generally, the person that shows up late during the live show has to bring the refreshments. So I'm keeping an eye on the list of the folks that are in the chat room right now, and we'll see who shows up late. There's always one or two, always one or two. So vMix 17 is in its 88th edition, or 88th rendition. Not really, because a lot of those were never published. I think we jumped from 85 to 88. 85 was released about, I guess, a week or 10 days ago. 88 was released yesterday. And 88, the big news for vMix 17.0.0.88 is that now vMix is one-touch stream compatible with vMix, with Facebook. So you can do Facebook Live through vMix without having to touch anything, and I'll show you what that looks like. Let's set up a little, we didn't do this, we should have done it earlier. We're going to set up a little screen capture, and I'm basically just going to capture my desktop here. So let's see if I can do that. See if we can get away with doing it here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so here's my desktop. And of course, in the top right-hand corner, that's the output window, so that goes off to infinity. That's the one over there. And then I'm over here in preview, and then, of course, all the other places along the way. So if we want to do the live stream to Facebook, we'll come down here to the bottom to the stream button, and you can see the stream button down at the bottom. And to the left of that is a little gear icon that says Configure Streaming Settings. Well, that's what we want. We want to configure streaming settings. So we can go to that, and let's, we're going to go to the destination. There's a new destination here. It's called Facebook. Hoo-wee. And then from there, we can go into our Facebook. We'll log into Facebook, and I would put in my login information right here, but I don't have a way of graying it out live, so I'm not going to do that for you right now. But there is a good tutorial that vMix has got that shows you how to do that. The information here on this status not logged in page basically is where we would put the title of the live stream, and then any information that we wanted to about the live stream down here, including our location, and then a selection on privacy. And then we would click start, and away we would go. It's that simple. It's that simple. Now, the caveat to all of this is, that you have to be a Facebook verified identity, whether it's your personal page or a page that you manage, or a group, or whatever it may be. You have to get verified with Facebook in order to do that. So that's not something everybody can do. So if you can't do that, then you're not going to be able to use this streaming settings shortcut in vMix. That's right, in vMix. But all is not lost. All is not lost because, and let's see, let's pull up this little page into preview right here. And in fact, we're going to cut to that so you can see. This is my Eastern Shore Broadcasting Facebook page. And right in the top of it is a, let's see, I don't know, yeah, you can't see my mouse, but right in the top, kind of halfway between me and Martin Sinclair, Martin's the one on the right, of course, in the menu is something called Publishing Tools. So if you click Publishing Tools, it will take you to the Publishing Tools page, of course, and then in the left-hand column of Publishing Tools, right over here, if you can see that one kind of flashing off and on, is called Video Library. So like Video Library. And then when the Video Library comes up, right over here, you can see it kind of flash a little bit, is the Live button. If you click Live, and I guess I probably shouldn't have done that because you can see all my all my codes there, but that's where I would pick up the URL and the stream key from, and we'll go back to this, and let's just, oops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Put me back up there. So when we go into the streamer, we can select, and I've already got this selected, Facebook via RTMP. I'm going to come down here and select destination, which is a custom RTMP server. And now I can put in, that's an old key, so you can see that one if you want to. It doesn't work anymore. Now I can put in the URL that I got from Facebook, and I can put in the stream key that I got from Facebook. And now I'm streaming just like anything else. And when I click Start down here, I still have to go over and start the stream live in Facebook, and we'll actually do this in the post show today. So we'll close that out. So if you don't have a verified page, there still is a way for you to stream to your page. It's just not as easy. It's a little bit more cumbersome, and you have to get a different stream key every time. So you're not SOL at that point. You can still do that. That's the big news with vMix 17.0.0.88. Now there are some other stuff. There is some other stuff that is important to know about 8.8. Number one, the NDI from NewTek has been updated by NewTek. Therefore, it's been updated by vMix. So if you get vMix 17.0.0.88, you're getting the latest, greatest NDI edition. Also, vMix has also updated the web browser input. So now it works a little bit better with Chrome browser. It didn't work so well before in some cases. And then there's a whole new set of new features in the countdown function in the title input. So if you like to do things with counting up or counting down for soccer or other sporting events, you can see those there. And you can find out more about these, because I'm not going to go into a lot of depth on them, at the vMix forum, which is forums.vmix.com. Go to the General tab, and then go to vMix 17 change log, and scroll down to .88, and you can see all the latest changes and what they were. And this does include some bug fixes. There were some issues with the, Jim wanted me to mention, the Blackmagic Designs Quad 2 card. And they, let's see, it says they used to, the end result is vMix will drop the audio from the card on the external outputs. And they're still working on that, but they're getting some of those bugs. And again, if you know anything about Blackmagic Designs, if you've been around them for a while, you know that they are not known for their reliable work every time drivers. They're rather known for buggy drivers. So buggy drivers, 200 years ago that had a whole different meaning. Okay. So, do you want to get vMix 17, the latest, greatest, .88? Yes, you do. You do. That's what we're using now. Don't anticipate any problems with it. We are going to continue to use it unless we find out otherwise. Oops, somebody lost a video on YouTube. I suspect they are having an internet problem because other people are saying that they're okay. You can get vMix 17/88 at vmix.com. Just right on the front page where it says download the trial, you can go there, and that's just the new vMix. You can get it right there. If you don't have vMix and you'd like to get it, you can go to vmix.com. Wow, that was fascinating. Okay, I think we're back here. Goodness gracious. If you're watching live, wasn't that exciting? Actually, it wasn't exciting at all. If you're watching the recorded version, we'll probably cut that out. Okay. I was just talking about how reliable vMix version .88 was, and then all of a sudden it froze. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if there is an issue there. Let's see, CPU 13%, render time 7 milliseconds, so it looks like we're doing pretty good there. And total CPU 30%, memory 4.5 gigs. Okay, I think we're okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. Well, I was just about to recommend that vMix 17.0.0.88 was a definitely go get, but since we had it freeze right now, you might want to wait just a minute and let's see if that happens again and see if there are some problems. Whenever you get a new update, I'm always quick to go ahead and use it and risk it, because that's the whole idea of this show, is that you get to see what it's like to do live streaming, and this is kind of a warts and all show. But if you are doing, finished product for a client, you may want to wait. Yeah, somebody's saying stay with .85 just in case, and we'll see what we'll see how this does in the future. We'll keep an eye on this, but this is .88 right here, so we'll move on from that. I do have a confession to make. In last week's show, I gave some praise to Panasonic for bringing out an NDI compatible camera. And I was so excited because I read a news story that was based on the press release from Panasonic's public relations department, I'm sure, about this NDI compatible camera. Excuse me just a second here. And I was duped, and so were you, by me, and I want to confess and apologize. It is not an NDI compatible pink lemonade. It is not an NDI compatible camera. I have to lay off this game. Compatible was the word. It is a camera that can connect to a PC that runs the NDI Connect application from NewTek. Well, my Canon HFR100 can do that. Does that mean that Canon can come out with a press release and say that all the cameras in their line are NDI compatible? I'm getting ahead of myself. This is next week's story. In fact, next week, you want to watch live because it's currently under development right now, right here in our studio. We are developing a new NDI application called Leash. That's right, Leash, L-E-A-S-H. And we will be introducing to you the first ever NDI compatible Jack Russell Terrier on this show next week via our new NDI app called NDI Leash. Because anything can be NDI compatible, right? Give me a break. Goodness gracious. Anyway, next week, NDI compatible Jack Russell Terrier, right here on this show. Set your VCRs to tape it. You won't be, what won't you be? You won't be disappointed? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Sorry about that. It really tore me up because the way the Panasonic news story about their press release read, it didn't talk about the NDI, the NewTek NDI Connect app as being what made their Panasonic, $8,000 camera NDI compatible. But when you read the press release, there it was. NDI Connect is what makes it happen. Well, if that's the case, that's a non-story. That's somebody's trying to get some press out there for Panasonic, and I sure fell for it, and I gave them credit for doing something that they did not do. Panasonic did not bring an NDI compatible camera to market. You can't plug that camera in and have it recognized on the network as a video source. That's the definition, in my mind, of an NDI compatible device. Camera, microphone, whatever. Plug it in, the network sees it because NDI is built into the device. That's the test right there. Not that you can plug it into a computer that's running NDI Connect. Yeah, we can all develop a little microbox Windows-based PC or even Linux-based PC or who knows whatever based PC that we can plug a camera into that'll plug into the internet. bird-dog.tv folks have got I guess it's SDI and HDMI converter that will convert that camera and make it NDI compatible where it doesn't have to be plugged into a PC. That is the standard. NDI compatible doesn't mean you can use an app from NewTek and call it NDI compatible. That's not it. It's not it. Sorry, folks. So my apologies to you for misleading you, and I want to go back and re-edit all the description for last week's video on that subject and make sure that I might even take that video down. Well, we'll see. There may be some other good stuff that's worth leaving it up for. So that's my rant for the moment. NDI compatibility, in my mind, I'm going to make this definition if nobody else will, means that you can plug a device into your network and it will be recognized on the network as an NDI device, i.e. vMix can receive the video or audio from that device directly, not through an intermediary. So that's my rant. That's my rant. I've also got another rant. I guess this is probably against Intel, because it took the good folks from StarTech way too long to release this Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt adapter. And they announced that this was going to be available back in March. And I don't have any of my close-up cameras set up. I'm sorry about that, but it's an adapter. You've seen one, you've seen them all. It's got Thunderbolt 3 on this end. It's got Thunderbolt on that end. Is it Thunderbolt 2 or Thunderbolt 1? Well, it don't care. You plug 1 or 2 into that, and plug this into your Thunderbolt 3 laptop or desktop, and so now all your legacy Thunderbolt legacy devices are now Thunderbolt 3 compatible. Doesn't mean they're going to run at Thunderbolt 3 speeds. It just means, oh boy, I slipped that compatible word right in there, didn't I? They're not Thunderbolt 3 compatible. They'll exist under Thunderbolt 3, but they don't run at Thunderbolt 3 speeds. Don't misunderstand me. I want to give you accurate information. We are giving these away with our Bolt 4. Our Bolt 4 is a Thunderbolt 1 device. That's the device that does 4 ports of HDMI or HDSDI capture via Thunderbolt 1. And the enclosure that's built for it is a Thunderbolt 1 enclosure, which is plenty fast. But some of the new laptops now are coming out with Thunderbolt 3 only, and so this adapter has finally been released. So now those of you that bought laptops with Thunderbolt 3 and were waiting to use your Thunderbolt devices, now you can get these. These are available on B&H Photo and Amazon and a ton of other places. You can pay anywhere, I think the list price is over $100 US, but you should be able to pick them up for $70 plus or minus around. So keep an eye out, and it is the TBT 3TB TADAP. Got that? Just search for Thunderbolt 3 and you'll get it. The Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt adapter from StarTech, and there's another company that's made it, but theirs is not quite the value price, and you know I'm a value price kind of guy, so I went for the value price version. But you can be value price too and get one free with our Bolt 4, which is $12.99, and it's available in our store at easternshorebroadcasting.com, so you can check it out there. Check it out there. The on upcoming shows, I see that one of our guests has just entered the chat room here. Coming up on June 29th, if we have a fair wind, Stephen Haywood from the Tech Buzz will be joining us live, coming on over to Streaming Idiots. He was gracious enough to invite me on his show a while back, and so we, of course, have to. We don't have to, but we want to have him on the show here on Streaming Idiots. Idiot by association is what he'll be, I guess, for the day. So you'll want to mark your calendar for June 22nd, June 29th. June 22nd, Rudy Ellis with Switchboard. These are the folks that developed the Restream.io process, the app that allows you to take one stream and send it to multiple CDNs. So make sure that you tune in on the 22nd if you're interested in restreaming. I think that's got everything today. I know we've got, looks like Stephen was the last one to come into the chat today, so he has to supply refreshments to the rest of the guys there. So he needs to figure out some virtual refreshments to share. That's the deal. If you're watching us on Facebook recorded, if you're watching us on YouTube, the recorded version of that, we hope you'll subscribe, because if you watch this far, obviously you're interested in what's going on. If you're watching us live, hang out with us for a few seconds as we close up the show, and we'll start the pre-show in just a moment. And if you're watching us, I guess that's really the only two ways you can watch, is live and on YouTube. So it's really limited and it's really simple. So if you've got questions about streaming and you think I can help you, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com. If you're interested in purchasing the vMix software, I'm a licensed vMix, or really I'm an authorized. I'm not, well, I'm licensed too, but that's a driver's license. But I'm an authorized vMix reseller. I'm also authorized reseller for the Magwell line of capture cards and the PTZ Optics line of cameras, and so we'd be delighted to assist you with any of those, and also design and build custom streaming PCs. If you need something that you can't find on the open market, we can build it for you. easternshorebroadcasting.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's see if I can get the show closing up here without botching it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you again next week. That would be Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern at easternshorebroadcasting.com. We'll see you then. Okay, let's see what we've got here. You know what? Ha, that's interesting. Very interesting, very interesting. Welcome, Stephen. Who else showed up while we were streaming there? Blaze is there. Welcome, glad to have you. Kent we saw earlier. Looks like that's the group. Sorry about that glitch in the middle of the show, guys. I don't know what happened. The vMix new version, version 88, suddenly went white. And Windows Task Manager said that it was not responding. So I killed it, restarted it. That's when you guys saw the kind of the blankness. Fortunately, we were recording and streaming and you know, this might make a believer out of me. We were recording and streaming the show on the Asus over here, the laptop, and so it recorded all of that, including the mess. And it streamed all of that. So the stream never really dropped. It just went black because the production PC stopped sending video and audio to the secondary PC. Yeah, Steven says, blame VidBlaster. That was an old VidBlaster habit. So, yes, next week we will be talking about our new NDI app called Leash. And with Leash, it will make my Jack Russell Terrier now NDI compatible. That's right. You can get an NDI compatible Jack Russell Terrier with our new app, NDI Leash. Because if Panasonic can do it, we can do it. How about that? Yeah. Whew. What does LEASH stand for? Well, Rich, that's a good question. We'll have to come up with a good acronym interpretation for it. But I'll go ahead and tell you guys because I just can't hold it back any longer. I mean, literally, I'm going to have my Jack Russell here, and he is literally going to have a leash attached to him. And I will make it appear as if that leash is plugged into the Ethernet port on my on my Switch. Oh goodness, that's just too funny. That's just too funny. Oh man, I can't believe I fell for the Panasonic thing. I just can't believe it. Leading edge, there we go. Leading edge application. The Terrier is now Wi-Fi compatible. Oh, there we go. Leading edge application for simple. Yeah, there we go. I'm NDI compatible. Absolutely. Yeah, that's just, it's interesting when you do what New Tech has done, which is you develop, and this technology was out there, and other people like Sony had been using it, but it was proprietary. And what New Tech did is they took their proprietary protocol and methodology, and they just made it available to everybody to use. And so as a result, it's taken off. And people that got caught with their pants down, or that have no understanding of what it is or how valuable it can be, are, now that NAB has come and gone, they're kind of scrambling around trying to say, yeah, we're NDI compatible, sure. Just use the New Tech Connect app and you can get access to our camera. Nah, that doesn't cut it. That's not kosher, because everything, and that's the point I'm going to make next week, everything, including my Jack Russell Terrier, is NDI compatible, if that's the way you're going to interpret that. But I think for the folks that are out there, the folks like PTZ Optics and others that are out there that are interested in making their device plug and play, plug it into the network and it will provide video or audio or whatever it's supposed to be providing. It will provide that as an NDI resource in a NDI application like TriCaster or vMix. And I understood that Wirecast was coming out with an announcement at the trade show. Is it Infocom that's going on right now? And I thought maybe it would be that they had an NDI compatibility. Frankly, I don't think it's that tough to make it NDI compatible. It's just a matter of reconfiguring how you adapt your inputs. I know VidBlaster's already done that. I mean, you can take an input into VidBlaster. I don't think VidBlaster will output anything that's NDI compatible like vMix will. We'll see. We will see. Panasonic is not doing well with their PCs because of PTZ Optics. I would believe that. I think PTZ Optics is probably cut into their Sony's too. Probably their $3,000 PTZ is being hurt by the PTZ cameras coming in at that sub $2,000 range. Leading edge application sourcing hub. Ooh, I like that. It's a shame the word leash doesn't have a C in it, because then you could put collar in there somewhere. Got to write this down, Martin. Martin's the one that came up with the good good URL earlier for the Thunderbolt devices. Leading edge app sourcing hub. Whoa, love it, love it. Yep. You will probably see that on my Twitter between now and next Wednesday. We will be releasing this app live next week. C is compatibility. Oh, yes, Giles, very good, very good. All right. Well, nobody said anything about the pre-show, saying pre-show below me and not saying post-show. But I actually changed it to post-show in the pre-show and on this one right here. And I didn't save the preset when I did that. Let's do it there. There we go. And then when we lost the feed, or when vMix decided to close itself, I hadn't already saved that, so it hadn't gotten to be part of the process. John or Yawn says, for embedded electronics, the ease of adapting NDI might not be as simple. Correct. Probably why PTZ hasn't just released a new firmware. Yeah, we had a little bit of discussion on that last week, and Martin Kay, who I respect a great deal, was talking about that, and that he had written an application for Magwell that was working with their cards to make their cards visible over the internet. Excuse me, visible over the network. Of course, they would be in a PC, but they would be visible over the network directly without having to go through any sort of other application like vMix. But we were talking that some devices wouldn't necessarily have the ability just to get a firmware update. John says, realizing that their hardware is just not playing ball, Panasonic did their marketing loop. Yeah, that's not helpful. That's not helpful. I mean, work hard and then take credit for it. Don't take shortcuts. I mean, does that tell me about the character of that company? Yeah, it says they're willing to take a shortcut and fool somebody. Nah. Say we're working on it. Say we've got our engineers furiously working on NDI compatibility. And then get credit for it big time when it comes out, instead of throwing out this puff. Tommy says, what about upcoming shows? Well, June 29th, assuming he's not fishing, Stephen Haywood will be on the show. So you guys will want to make that one. And then June 22nd, Rudy Ellis with Switchboard will be here. Next week will be the NDI compatible Jack Russell Terrier. So there's your loop. I think is that right, or did I leave a week out there somewhere? Yep, that's right. So the 15th will be the Terrier, 22nd will be Rudy, 29th will be Stephen, and then we'll be in July. And that will be July 6th. We'll see if we have a show that day or not. We'll have to see. Who is he? Stephen or Rudy? No, this would be Stephen with a P, not Stephen with a V. A P as in pistol. Yeah. A bi-weekly show. Actually, John, this show used to be an hour long, and that was too long. That was too long. And what I found out, since we reduced it to a half hour, our YouTube viewership has gone up because people aren't intimidated. I know when I go onto YouTube and I look, and I'm looking for an answer to a question or something that interests me, if it's a 2-hour show, I'm intimidated by that. I would rather see a 15 to 30 minute show because I can probably scratch out 15 to 30 minutes to watch something. But 2 hours, I'll never make it all the way through. So I just won't watch. And I think when I moved from an hour show to, actually I moved from an hour show, that VidBlaster guy, to 2 half-hour shows. One of them was this show, Streaming Idiots. The other was that VidBlaster guy, each running a half hour. Each one on the same day, actually kind of back to back with a little intermission in between. And then we dropped that VidBlaster guy show a while back. Well, it kind of went into hiatus. We'll probably do another episode of that sometime this summer, just to kind of catch up on what's going on with VidBlaster X. But to do bi-weekly, probably not. Actually, if I did bi-weekly, it would go down to 15 minutes. I'd do 2 15-minute shows. But it's a lot of trouble to set up for a show, and you want to get your money's worth out of it. Plus, the post-show and the pre-show, I think if I were not me, if I were somebody else and I was interested in streaming and wanted to learn more about it, I would love the pre-show and the post-show because you get a kind of a behind-the-scenes look and you get to ask a lot of questions and you can chat back and forth with people. And, you know, when the show itself is going on, if I'm watching Steven's show or somebody else's show, I don't want to distract from the show by having it. Not that I'm criticizing you guys for doing this. You can do whatever you want to. But I don't want to distract from the show by having some, you know, sort of tangential conversations going on during the show. I want to respect the person that's not, again, not being critical of you guys. Y'all can talk about whatever you want to. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. So keep talking about whatever you want to. Boy, I got into that dead end alley and I couldn't get out, could I? Somebody else having problems with stream today. Stopped here several times. Well, it stopped here too. And it about halfway through the show, or 2/3 of the way through the show, it locked up and I had to reset. Didn't lose the stream, but the content of the stream was blank for a few minutes. John says that's why it should be bi-weekly. Introducing the Streaming Idiots Friday bar Google Hangout. Oh, by Google Hangout? Don't get it. Tommy says, plus you would have to have makeup and hair done twice a week. I think I'm going to get you know, kind of a little fluffy kind of do right here and get some orange makeup. That's the most political I'm going to get all day. Oh my goodness. I have thought about doing a 15-minute show that would not be live. I mean, I might make it live, and you guys could tune in if you wanted to, but I can't imagine trying to, you know, schedule in a 15-minute show. But with the thought to experiment and see if a 15-minute block of time would get a lot of views on YouTube, and would have to be probably sort of single subject, more like a news report, in the sense that, you know, we've got this reporter out in the field and he's reporting on this subject, and that's it. So something like that. For example, we could have done the vMix 88 update. Oh, I see, Friday bar at Google Hangout. There you go, sort of just a hangout kind of thing. I like that. I do like that. My wife would not like that. But we could have done the vMix 88 as a 15-minuter. Yep. But I think too, you know, there's a lot of you guys that have carved out some time to hang out today, and I think that's pretty cool. And so I enjoy that community. I hope you guys do. I really do. I appreciate the support that shows, and I appreciate your honesty and your, you know, kind of, we're all in this together to help improve the industry itself. You know, vMix being a part of it, PTZ Optics being a part of it, Madgewell being a part of it, as well as the other competitors for those products. But those are the ones that I've sort of picked as I'm going to be the, I won't say I'm going to be the champion of those, but that I'm going to represent those to the public, and say, you know, this is what I know about them, this is what I know you can do with them, and this is what I know you can't do with them, like vMix today, Crashola. Jerry wants to know when the program with the dancing girls is. Oh my goodness. I knew Tommy would not be far behind. That's great. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Okay. Well, I've got my little Canon HF R200 NDI compatible camera here. I think it looks pretty decent. Not bad, huh? The scenery behind me is a backdrop that a client sent that he wanted to use as his backdrop in a remote production that we're doing for him. He was going to send me a green screen camera, and we were going to drop this backdrop in, but it was in crystal clear focus, which in a real life situation, you know, if you've got a good camera, the depth of field, if you come from a photography background, and you guys can tell me it has to do with aperture, but the depth of field should be pretty narrow. That is, that me and anything that's parallel to me should be in good focus, but anything close to you and anything behind me should be out of focus to kind of give that that special feel that this is the special part. Not that I'm the special part, but that I'm. Uh-oh, you guys buffering? And Mike is gone? Oh no, that's terrible. And a buffer there. Here a buffer, there a buffer, everywhere a buffer. Stream stopped here. Well, that's no good. Well, let's see if we can find a problem. No, network 88 strikes again. Well, he could have said bye. No. Huh. Well, don't know what it was, guys. Didn't touch a thing, and the network says that didn't have any glitches in the network. I suspect we could have had a, yeah, that's refresh. Huh. No, interesting. Learning enthusiast and streaming hobbyist. Ooh, I like that too. John says running Windows 10 without killing Windows Update. No. I don't think we did an update. No, I mean the laptop is doing the stream, and it's just steady as a rock. I wonder if maybe we didn't have just a little internet glitch here for just a moment. Tommy, you know, it's funny you talking about saucers. And John, I'll get in the background here in just a second, but I was flying in yesterday. I'd gone to visit my parents up in Virginia, and we were flying into Atlanta to switch planes. And we were probably, I don't know, 1,000 feet, something like that. You know, I could see houses, I could see cars, I could see people. They weren't real big. And then and I was sitting right by the window, and all of a sudden, right by the plane, is this silver thing. Couldn't have been much bigger than this, and it was probably, I don't know, 150 feet from the plane. And we passed by it, but we passed by it it made me think that it was flying our direction. It just wasn't as fast because we didn't go by it just like zoom. We went by it pretty slowly, and I was thinking that maybe somebody had a drone way, way up, and they were trying to get a shot of the plane coming in, because we were right across the interstate from the airport in Atlanta when that happened. It was pretty amazing. Yeah, you know, it probably was maybe this big. Oh, sorry, this big but bigger. You can't see the whole screen. No, but the background here, by blurring it slightly in not Photoshop but Paintbrush Pro or whatever that $9 software is that I use, by blurring it slightly, it gives the appearance of a shot where, you know, I'm outdoors, and if the lighting was a little better, it would look a little bit more authentic. But that I was outdoors, or maybe sitting on a porch somewhere in a studio, and that this was really my backdrop. And so when we add that little bit of blur to it, it really helped to sell it. Of course, the fact that the water's not moving tends to reduce the effect a little bit. Depth of field, that's right, a depth of field shot, exactly. So it would help if this were a 20-second video that we could just roll over and over and over again. Or if you have a static shot like this, obviously you want to make sure it's something that doesn't have to have motion in it in order to appear legitimate. What was it I noticed on the vMix live shows before NAB, they were using a backdrop that was I don't know, 10 or 15-second clip from the Strip at Las Vegas. And, you know, you could watch the traffic pull up to the stoplight, and then off they'd go, and then the clip would come to the end, and all of a sudden the lane would be full of cars again. And it just was one of those where it should have been clipped just a little bit better so that it worked a little better. And what was the other one? The one they did at Christmas that had the fire in the background. You know, all of a sudden the flames just went from here to down here and started again. Oh. Now that's a real man. I could never swig moonshine like that. John says it's lemonade, and we kind of believe him. Oh, Tommy has to go. He's got enough screen caps for his Tom Sing. Oh, jeez. Give me a break. Come on. Come on, Tommy. Come on. It is lemonade. Just moved to the beach. Problem solved. Well, boy, that would be nice. Actually, in this picture, I probably wouldn't want to use this picture because it looks like I have something coming out of the top of my head, which is that tree back there. So I need to adjust my shot a little higher. Yeah, you want to be careful you don't have things coming out of people's ears and stuff like that. The candles are costly. Tommy, I'll send you a box of candles, no problem. Endless ice in the cup. Well, my wife got this for me. Not something I would have bought for myself, but it's one of those nice vacuum cups. So it's kept the same ice all day. It's really pretty cool. What else did we want to talk about? Is Jim still here? Let's look over the list. Jim Jacobs, you had said something about NDI cam not working, and that was the Sienna product, I think. Let's see if we can look that up. Okay, maybe not. Ha, look at there. That's interesting. PTZ Optics has a good Vegas motion background they're using today at Infocom. Ah. Okay. That's cool. Ah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Yeah, NDI Cam is a Sienna product. Gotcha. Okay. NDI is an app that allows you to take your iPhone camera and stream it as an NDI source. Thank you, Michael. Yep, that's just what I came to. Now that I would call NDI compatible, because it's not going through a third-party device like a PC. All right, PTC Optics has a good Vegas motion background you're using for today. I want to go see that. John, what did you source? Where did you source the backdrop you're usually using? You would be talking, I think, about this one. And this one was actually a gift from Dr. Charles Campbell, who was in the audience earlier. Charles, are you still there? Looking over the list here. I don't see Charles on the list. He was here earlier. Dr. Campbell is an 85-year-old journalist professor. And, all right, Chris, later. And author and newscaster and video journalist. And what else? He's done so many things in his life. He's a real treasure. And Charles and I have had a lot of really great conversations. Anyway, he sent this to me as a gift. I think he got it off of Video Blocks or Pond 5 or something like that. But it's I think it's a 10-second clip. Let's see. Yep, it's a 10-second clip, and it just rolls over in the background. And I really like it. I really like it. You know, and it's obviously it's not a real studio. I mean, it's got the bands up there, but it's decoration and adds a little bit of interest, and the lights are moving around. So when I get boring, you can watch the lights and try to figure out what's playing on some of those TVs in the background. That's what I do sometimes when I get bored. I just look at it. It's like, okay, like this show right here. What is going on right there? And then this one keeps changing. And then that one right there, that definitely does a lot of changes. And I'm sure if I had, one of those After Effects ones, I could get one that could fill in all those TV screens with things, with clips from this show. And that would be a lot of fun. A little overkill probably, but fun. Jill says, "Can I tap Vegas?" Well, I don't know. Thank you, Rich. Okay, Michael's got to go. Later, Michael. We'll see you live in July. Break a leg. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, yeah, remember there's a 10-second delay here. So when you post something, I'll respond to it, but you may not hear it for another 10 seconds. So please don't think I'm ignoring you. Unless, of course, you're Tommy in Reeltown, then I'm definitely ignoring you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Rafael is here. Welcome. I thought I saw a comment from you earlier. Good deal. Thank you. Glad to have you. The Restream.io guy is coming on the 22nd. June 22nd. His name is Rudy Ellis, and they have changed the company name to Switchboard, and Restream.io is one of the apps available from Switchboard. So that'll be in 2 weeks from today. And then, of course, next week will be the NDI-compatible Jack Russell Terrier. So the poor Restream guy has got a tough act to follow. Nobody wants to follow a dog act or a monkey act. All right, Bill. It's good to see you. Glad to have you. Stephen, about Joycaster, is it Joy? You're right. It's not Restream.io. It's Joycaster.io, because Joy is his daughter's name. My bad. I gave bad information. It is Joycaster, and Joycaster is now an app that the company Switchboard is producing, and Switchboard is doing a lot of other things too. And Joycaster was kind of kind of restricting them in terms of what they could do. A little bit like when we were doing the VidBlaster Guy show, that VidBlaster Guy, it restricted us from talking about Wirecast and vMix in more depth. So Streaming Idiots was sort of born as a way to help us deal with all the other non-VidBlaster things. And then when the VidBlaster show went into hiatus, we already had this show that was in existence, and so it was easy to switch over. Joycaster is with Switchboard. Correcty. Thank you, Stephen. So, you know, what would I do without Stephen around to correct me? I get all my show ideas from his Tuesday show. That's why we do this show on Wednesdays, because his show broadcast now is on Tuesdays. And it's like, okay, phew, you know, when he goes on vacation or when he went on hiatus last year for 6 months, I was hard up for show ideas. It was terrible. I mean, it was just, I had to think up stuff, original thoughts. Maybe. And Stephen came here for information. Well, I noticed how everybody kind of got real quiet in the chat room after Stephen showed up. It's like, ooh, we don't want to share all our secrets with him. No, I'm teasing. It's good stuff. What, let's see. So something else I was thinking that I wanted to talk about with you guys, but I don't recall what it was. Don't recall what it was. I wonder if the YouTube Live and now Facebook Live, and so those are two big companies, Facebook and Google, that are doing free live streaming, if that's going to impact companies that are doing paid streaming. Here's a scenario. Several years ago, my church had an unsuccessful, it wasn't unsuccessful, it just wasn't very long, streaming adventure. It was over a month, maybe two. And we're getting ready to do streaming again, starting, when are we starting? Not this Sunday, but Sunday next. So starting on the 19th of June, we're going to start a trial and live stream a portion of the service and then make that portion available for viewing after the fact. And the thought crossed my mind today, you know, the church doesn't have a paid CDN, and I was just going to let them stream on my Decast account because I've got a lot of bandwidth left there, a lot of gigs that I haven't used. But you know, for a small church that's doing something, you could just put that on your Facebook page, and you know, that would be more than sufficient. You know, now for a larger church where you want to have a little bit more control and you want to be able to embed it in your website and do all sorts of things with the archives, yeah, definitely you want to do something a little different. But from a Facebook standpoint, you know, to pin it to your page and then just say, you know, go to the page to watch it, and there it is. I think that would be pretty workable. All right, Rich says, so the revenue from both YouTube and Facebook still is advertising. If they don't have content, they don't have an audience. Well, Facebook's got an audience, but it's not really an audience. It's just followers that are interested in what everybody else is doing. So, you know, my church has a Facebook page. They've got a website. They don't have Twitter. They don't have Instagram. They don't have a bunch of other stuff. It's just Facebook and website. And that seems to do the trick because it's mostly an older congregation. I'd say, you know, Sandy and I, you know, are late 50s, early 60s, and we are on the young edge of the group. John, I would think that there is a market for both free. Let's go back here. Free YouTube and paid to cast streamers. What is different is the target group for the broadcaster. Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree. But to get into it, low cost, no cost on the streaming side, and to put yourself in a place where people might already look for you, which is Facebook. I think more people come to our church Facebook page than come to our church website. Rich, most likely they will charge for extra in the future, like HD, less commercial, stats, etc. Probably. I would say that'd be pretty good. All right. Musicaldo, Love God Bad, Edwards. I love that. I use YouTube videos to help out with my church streaming. We use vMix too. Yep, YouTube would be great for that. John, if you have a special account, you will have fewer viewers and use pay-per-view. If you produce popular content, you can go with YouTube and make money from ads. Right. Right. Although I can't imagine, you know, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube to make anything close to $100. Would be interesting. Would be interesting. So I'm beginning to come around on my Facebook Live thought. You know, my first thought was, there is no purpose for that. Duplicates what's already out there. And then who was it the other day that was sharing with me about the stream that they were doing for a ministry. I think it was down in Australia. And they had a Facebook stream, and the ministry had 200,000 likes on, 200,000 likes on their Facebook page. And then they had a YouTube page also, and they had 10,000 subscribers there. And they had a higher percentage of YouTubers watching, it was 1%, than Facebookers watching, which was like 0.3% or 0.4%. No, 0.2%, that's what it was. But they had 400 Facebookers versus 100 YouTubers, is how the numbers worked out. Anyway, it was interesting. The conclusion that he drew, which was, you know, we'll do both. It doesn't cost any extra to add Facebook to the mix. And I think that's a good way to handle it. You know, if that's where you think your prospective audience is going to be, or can trip over you more easily there, then that's a good place to put it. Plus, it allows your audience, and I hadn't thought about this, it allows your audience, like this audience here, if we were just streaming to YouTube, check that, if we were just streaming to Facebook, and you had the ability to share this, and so you're watching it on my page, or you're watching it in your own news feed, would you share this with a friend, or would you share it on your own page, or would you, find some way to share content like this so that somebody else would want to watch it while it was live? That's the thing. I mean, it's a live thing. Of course, it's recorded also, so there is that. Rich says, gotta admit, the YouTube player is agile, variable bit rate, saved directly to YouTube, etc. Hard to find a compatible player similar to the YouTube player. I bet Facebook is working on that. Can't figure out why else Facebook would take 10 seconds to get the stream out there, if all they're doing is restreaming it. It's going to be an interesting it's going to be an interesting rest of year. Yeah. I'm kind of enthused about what I see so far. Jill says Zuckerberg is letting too many hacks happen. I suspect, Jill, that they will be closing those hacker doors as quickly as they can discover them. Mike says, Tom, does your church want to stream to Roku boxes? Mike, I think the answer is the question is really the first 6 words of your question, which is, does my church want to stream at all? And I think they're only doing it because I'm kind of nudging them forward on it. And my guess would be, our congregation, our group is, again, it tends to be older and would tend to be more network TV cable, satellite, that kind of thing with their TV. Watch on their phone, maybe, watch something on the computer, I guess, if we have to. And probably do not own a Roku and would not know what one was. Yeah, Rich says already 30% of cable satellite users have cut the cord, more online content. And it would be interesting to do the age demographics of that 30%. I've got a 27-year-old son who doesn't have cable or satellite. He's got internet, and he said, Dad, that's all I need. John says, for a roller derby tournament next month, we'll be using pay-per-view and not YouTube, simply to get a few bucks to pay some of the cost. I'd be happy if each game will sell more than 100 tickets at $5 a piece. Yeah, and John, I used to do, I won't say a lot of pay-per-view, but I did enough of it to have some experience, and I realized, you got to have a vested audience that really wants to watch. We tried doing it with some soccer, and for teenage soccer, and there just wasn't an audience for it outside of the mom or dad that couldn't be there to watch live. There might be half a dozen of folks like that, but once you got beyond those folks, there was nobody interested that would watch, that wanted to pay to watch. Now, they might watch if it were free. But then we did a soccer, kind of a college age summer league national championship, and did real well with that because they were teams from out of state that the parents and families weren't traveling with the team. So so that worked pretty well. You guys are talking faster than I can respond. Let's see, where is the... Trend to streaming as the media in the future. Yeah, we watched the college, what game was it? Some of the college baseball games over the weekend we watched online because they weren't available on TV. John says we simply don't get enough viewers to make the same amount of money through YouTube. I believe that. Kent says, Tom, in the vMix Facebook Live encoder, can you change the bit rate? Yes. The problem now with Facebook Live and Switchboard, you have to change the RMP on each live stream you do right now, unless I'm missing something. You have to have a Facebook verified account in order to be able to sign in through vMix. If you use Facebook where you pick up the RTMP URL and stream name, no, you can still set the bit rate there. I don't know that you were in this on the show when I showed that, but well, let me show you again real quick. Let's see. Let's add an input. Just quick. Do a desktop capture, and we'll just capture the desktop here. So we'll cut to that, and we'll go to stream settings. We'll go to, let's go to default. We'll go to add. We'll name it Facebook. We'll go to, let's clear that one out, and we'll clear that one out. So all these are now blank, and we'll make the first one a custom RTMP server. We'll go over here to Facebook.com, go to Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, go to Publishing Tools, go to Video Library, go to Live, pick up the server URL, pick up the stream key. All right, I've got that. And now down here under quality, I can set my bit rate and my resolution. So right now I've got it set for 720p, 2.5 megabits per second on the video, and then AAC 96K bps on the audio, and then I can start it. And so now if you guys go to Eastern Shore Broadcasting on Facebook, you will see that we are broadcasting this show on Facebook. Yep, there it is. There it is. So I'm going to watch the stats here and see if anybody goes to look. And you say, oh, well, we don't know what your page is. Well, Facebook. I'll put it in chat and you can go and look. So that's it. And what you're seeing there, Ken, is just the show. We'll go ahead and close that one up. And then we can go back to the show. There's about a 10-second delay, just like the other one. Okay, let's see. What did I miss? Mike says, I've heard of churches buying a Roku for their affiliated seniors so they can watch the service. That's cool. That's a good idea. Look at hardline phones versus cell phones. Yep. John L., I don't understand why YouTube doesn't run the pay-per-view option. Isn't that called RedTube? I think RedTube is, I thought that was so that I could watch without seeing any ads, not that I would stream it and get paid for it. Yeah. Dave says, Tom, it's the older congregants that watch us at home as much as the younger ones. Yeah, Dave does a lot of this. We have some ladies that visit the homebound during the service to keep company with them. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Steven says, did you talk about Wirecast 7? It's coming. Well, no, I didn't. I don't know what's coming. What's coming in it? Tell me. Oh, there's the press release. Rafael says, but you can't set a $5 price for your streaming with YouTube. Sponsorship model is not that great. John uses a regional company similar to DeCast. He expects 1/10 of the number of viewers as from a free stream. Would prefer to have sponsors paying, but so far the sponsor teams just haven't been up to the task of getting sponsors biting. Yeah, you know, John, I've seen that too, and Jim may be joining in on this conversation because he's got a lot of expertise there. But at this point, with a lot of streams, the eyeballs just aren't there, and so a sponsorship is really more of a donation than it is a business transaction of buying something and getting something in return. You know, you're just buying goodwill for the community, unless you're getting thousands of viewers. Okay, Jim can confirm about pay-per-view. We recently did a softball tournament and had less than 50 pay-per-views for the two-day event. If we'd done free platform, we would have 1,000 viewers. Yep. Yep. I think that's the ticket. You know, Jim, everybody that wanted to watch it and would have been willing to pay was there watching it in person. Nothing happens until somebody says something, sells something, says Jim. Yep. Free is too expensive and more, said Jill. I like that. What kind of camera are you using for this broadcast? Hello, Howard. I am using a Canon HF R200, which is a little pocket handy cam that I bought off of eBay for $100. Not bad, huh? Oh, and it's NDI compatible. John, we did a roller derby tournament in early March, had 250 paying viewers on an average for 8 games, $25. That's great. Okay, Musicaldo says streaming great on Facebook. Good. I can see that we have a peak of live viewers of 5, 3 video views, and reactions, comments, and shares of 7. So I've got real-time statistics. That's pretty cool. I like that. Jim says, John L., consider yourself lucky. You had a good event that people wanted to see. That's exactly right, Jim. Not that just people, but a lot of people wanted to see. And I could see a situation, John, where with a roller derby team that's based in one city that has a good local following, not just moms and dads and brothers and sisters, but has a good local following, when they travel, those folks that can't travel with the team would probably be willing, either on a game-by-game basis or on a subscription basis for the season, be willing to pay to watch those games. And in fact, you could probably even promote that by starting, you know, clubs and giving, you know, or fan clubs or whatever, and giving the fan clubs a special rate if they'll bring, you know, 4 or 5 people in together to watch all at the same place at the same time. You know, kind of promote the club, the team's unity kind of thing. I think there's a thing there somewhere. And so far, he's the only one in the market in this region. Go get him, baby. Kill all the competition. Still in infancy, I'll bet that it will totally expand. Yep, if it's successful, it will. If it's successful, it will. Quality on Facebook, not very clear, my opinion, says Mike. Well, I haven't looked at it. Well, let's look at it and see what it looks like. Facebook. Yes. There it is. I'm going to go, is this pop out? Is that one of the options? Yeah, there's a pop out option. Can I resize it however I want to and pop out? Oh, it only goes but so big. Will it pop out and go anywhere? Oh no, it just stays in the top left-hand corner. Well, that's no good. What if we go full screen? Oh, that looks awful. And it also is frozen. Oh no, there it is. That's terrible. Oh, yuck. That is just, that's really pitiful. That is really pitiful. That's the best it can do? Well, look again. Maybe I'm missing something. And maybe it's sensing my stream, because I mean, I'm streaming out 2 streams, and I'm obviously watching this one download. I should have plenty of bandwidth for that, though. I can barely read the chat. Well, that's no good. Huh. Good comment, Mike. Good comment, Mike. John L. says it helps to work with one of the best teams in Europe. We also work with a national organization to stream the national championship. There you go. Now you're talking some money. Listen to Jim. Jim knows what he's talking about, guys. The key to building audience is promotion outside of your stream. You got to advertise through social media posts, email blasts, even traditional media. People have to know that you're doing what you're doing and where to find it. We've been doing high school sports in our region of Alabama for 5 years, so people know who we are and what to do. And a lot of that, too, you can get some help with the folks that you are streaming. So if you're streaming teams or schools, you can expect that they would be right in line with you in wanting to promote that. You know, sometimes coaches don't want the competition to have a good look at them, but I think you can expect some help there. Right, John said we made an advertisement video that accidentally went viral on Facebook with 8,000 views. That's great. Henri says it's worse than YouTube 240. Good, very helpful, Henri. Howard says it looks good at his end. Mike says, Tom, I was being polite. My sorry. What were you being polite about? That it looked bad? Where's Mike's comment? Quality on Facebook not very clear. And he says he was being polite. There you go. And Jim says, there you go, John L. That probably explains why your PPV event was successful. Rich, this is Rich. This is what I was wondering. He says, Honore, your player is adjusting to your bandwidth. That's probably what's happening in my case. So if I go full screen, it looks like crud. It's got 2 little controls down at the bottom of it. One is for volume. Are you guys hearing me twice? And the other looks like a full screen button, but they're not very well. Whatever. Giles says, Facebook looks like crap, but it looked better earlier. What are your streaming settings for Facebook? Streaming settings are 720p, 2.5 megabits per second. Jim says, if you have production capability and you want to do high school sports, contact the NFHS and become a channel partner. There you go. Anybody who wants more info, contact him at jimj@jacobsmediaservicesal.com, and he'll give you the 411. That's cool. Howard says he's been doing a lot of Facebook live streams. Sometimes the streams look awful, but all his archives are very clear. So what are some of the platforms you're using for PPV? Rich says it looks like Facebook Live auto adjusts without the option to bump up. Okay. John L. says I was actually a bit disappointed, but that's just me. I know it's also a matter of getting the market used to think they can actually see a decent production online. I believe we are still somewhat in the early stage when looking at non-mainstream sports like soccer, football, and such. Giles says those settings should look clear on Facebook. I agree, Giles. I think they should too. But I think I think it's a bandwidth issue that it's adjusting bandwidth. John L. says people are simply not expecting something above a smartphone stream. Well, that's interesting. Henri says maybe Facebook is better if you're logged in. I don't know. Maybe Facebook just doesn't have the bandwidth. Yeah, let's see if I can see my own Facebook stream. Yeah. Is this live or is this recorded? I can see my own Facebook stream. It's live. Yeah. Is this live or is this recorded? It's live. Is it live? Is it me? Is it really me? Is it live? Is it me? Is it really me? We all sorts of feedback from that. That's funny. That's funny. Well, you guys have been really cool about hanging out, but I have to go back to work. Got some emails to return, some folks to call, and some marketing to finish up on for the day. So it was a treat to hang out with you, and I'd love to do it again sometime. Hey, let's do it again next Wednesday. Maybe 3 o'clock Eastern. All right. So, and Musicaldo says, Facebook is great here at my end. It depends on y'all internet. There you go. Thank you, Dave. You're very kind. Very kind. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Timothy. It's good to see you. Well, I didn't really see you, but it's nice to know you were there. Thanks, Giles. It has been fun. Thanks, Rich. Thanks for you guys. Y'all add so much. Really do. And thanks to our occasional visitors like Stephen and Jim. Glad to have you guys here. Y'all add a lot to the show. And Howard, love having you here for the first time. Musicaldo, having you here. That was a treat too. And Henri has come back again. I think this is his second or third visit. So thanks. It was great having you. And then of course to you regulars, and you know who you are, you troublemakers. Howard, it was a treat. I'm glad to do it. Wishing you guys good streams this week and this weekend, and we will have to catch you next week. And I'm going to leave the stream up for about a minute or so that it finishes streaming out, because if you guys buffer it at any point, if I cut it now, it kills it immediately. But if I let it run for a little bit, then it'll buffer on out. Yeah, Jim, glad to have you. It was a treat to have you with us. So we will see you. Can I make this go over there without making it restart? I bet I can't. Let's just try it. Yep, it restarted. How about that? Well, we don't want that. So we will, where else can we go? Yep. We'll go here. And I will see you guys soon.